The second book of Moses, Exodus chapter 36. And Bezalel and Elohab and every gifted artisan in whom the Lord has put wisdom and understanding to know how to do all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary shall do according to all the Lord has commanded. Then Moses called Bezalel and Elohab and every gifted artisan in whose heart the Lord had put wisdom, everyone whose heart was stirred, to come and do the work. And they received from Moses all the offering which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of making the sanctuary. So they continued bringing to him freewill offerings every morning. Then all the craftsmen who were doing all the work of the sanctuary came, each from the work he was doing, and they spoke to Moses, saying, "The people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which the Lord commanded us to do." So Moses gave a commandment, and they caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying, "Let neither man nor woman do any more work for the offering of the sanctuary." And the people were restrained from bringing, for the material they had was sufficient for all the work to do, and to be done indeed too much. Then all the gifted artisans among them who worked on the tabernacle made 10 curtains, woven of fine linen and of blue, purple, and scarlet thread. With artistic designs of cherubim they made them. The length of each curtain was 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, and the curtains were all the same size. And he coupled 5 curtains to one another, and the other 5 curtains he coupled to one another. He made loops of blue yarn on the edge of the curtain, on the selvage of one set. Likewise he did on the outer edge of the other curtain of the second set. 50 loops he made on one curtain, and 50 loops he made on the edge of the curtain on the end of the second set. The loops held one curtain to another. And he made 50 claps of gold, and coupled the curtains to one another with the claps, that it may be one tabernacle. He made curtains of goat's hair for the tent over the tabernacle. He made 11 curtains. The length of each curtain was 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains were the same size. He coupled 5 curtains by themselves and 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is the outermost in one set, and 50 loops he made on the edge of the curtain of the second set. He also made 50 bronze claps to couple the tent together, that it might be one. And then he made a covering for the tent of ram skins, dye red, and a covering of badger skins above that. For the tabernacle he made boards of acacia wood, standing upright. The length of each board was 10 cubits, and the width of each board a cubit and a half. Each board had 2 tenons for binding one to another. Thus he made for all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made the boards of the tabernacle 20 boards for the south side. 40 sockets of silver he made to go under the 20 boards, and 2 sockets under each of the boards for each 2 tenons. And for the other side of the tabernacle, the north side, he made 20 boards, and there were 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under each of the boards. And for the west side of the tabernacle, he made 6 boards. And he also made 2 boards for the 2 back corners of the tabernacle. And they were coupled at the bottom and coupled together at the top by 1 ring, and thus he made both of them for the 2 corners. On the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle on the far side west. And he made the middle bar to pass through the boards from one end to the other. He overlaid the boards with gold, made their rings of gold to be holders for the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen. It was worked with an artistic design of cherubim. He made it 4 pillows of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold, and with their hooks of gold. And he cast 4 sockets of silver for them. He also made a screen for the tabernacle door of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen made by a weaver, and its 5 pillars with their hooks, and he overlaid their capitals and their rings with gold, and their 5 sockets were bronze. Chapter 37. Then Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits was its length, a cubit and a half its width, and a cubit and a half its height. He overlaid it. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold to be set in its 4 corners, 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other side of it. He made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. And he put the bowls into the rings at the sides of the ark to bear the ark. He also made the mercy seat of pure gold. 2.5 cubits was its length, and 1.5 cubits its width. He made 2 cherubim of beaten gold, and he made them of one piece of 2 ends of the mercy seat. 1 cherubim at one end on one side, and the other cherubim at the other end of that side. And he made the cherubim at the 2 ends of one piece with the mercy seat. Cherubim spread out their wings above and covered the mercy seat with their wings. They faced one another. The faces of the cherubim were toward the mercy seat. He made the table of the acacia wood. 2 cubits it was its length, 1 cubit its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. He overlaid it with pure gold and made a molding of gold all around it. Also he made a frame of hand-written all around it, and made a molding of gold for the frame all around it. And he cast for it 4 wings of gold, and put the rings on the 4 corners that were at its 4 legs. The wings were close to the frame as the holders for the poles to bear the table. And he made the poles of acacia wood to bear the table, and overlaid them with gold. And he made of pure gold the utensils which were on the table, its dishes, its cups, its bowls, and its pitchers for pouring. And he also made the lampstand of pure gold, of hammered work. He made the lampstand, its shaft, its branches, its bowls, its ornamental knobs, and its flowers were of the same piece. And the 6 branches came out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out on one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out on the other side. There were 3 bows made like almond blossoms on one branch, and with an ornamental knob with a flower, and 3 bows made like almond blossoms on the other branch with an ornamental knob and a flower. And so far, the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand. And on the lampstand itself were 4 bows made like almond blossoms, each with its ornamental knob and flower. There was a knob under the first 2 branches of the same, a knob under the second 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the third 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches extending from it. Their knobs and their branches were on one piece. All of it was 1 hammered piece of pure gold. And he made it 7 lamps, its wicks, trimmers, and its trays of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold he made it with all its utensils. He made the incense altar of the acacia wood. Its length was 1 cubit, and it was the width was 1 cubit, square, and 2 cubits was its height. Its horns were 1 piece with it, and he overlaid it with pure gold, its top, its sides, all around it, and its horns. He also made for it a molding of gold all around it. He made 2 rings of gold for under its molding, by its 2 corners on both sides as holders for the poles which to bear it. And he made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. And he also made the holy anointing oil and the pure incense of sweet spices of acacia wood. 5 cubits was its length, and 5 cubits was his weight. Chapter 38. It was square, and it was at the height was there cubits. He made its horns on its 4 corners. The horns were the 1 apiece with it, and he overlaid it with bronze. He made all the utensils for the altar, the pans, the shovels, the basins, the forks, and the fire pans. All its utensils he made of bronze. And he made a grate of bronze network for the altar under its brim, midway from the bottom. He cast 4 rings for the 4 corners of the bronze grating as holders for the poles. And he made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. Then he put all the poles into the rings on the side of the altar, which to bear it. He made the altar hollow with boards. He made the laver of bronze and its base of bronze from the bronze mirrors of the serving women who assembled the door of the tabernacle of meeting. Then he made the court on the south side. The hangings of the court were of woven fine linen, 100 cubits long. There were 20 pillars for them, with 20 bronze sockets. The hooks of the pillars and their bands were silver, and on the north side the hangings were 100 cubits long, with 20 pillars, and The 20 bronze sockets. The hooks of the pillars and their bands were silver, and on the west side there were hangings of 50 cubits with 10 pillars, and there were 10 sockets. Hooks of the pillars and their bands were silver. On the east side the hangings were 50 cubits. The hangings on one side of the gate were 15 cubits long, their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. And same for the other side of the court gate on this side, and that were hangings of 15 cubits with their 3 pillars and their sockets, which were 3. All of the hangings of the court and all around them were fine woven linen. And the sockets for the pillars were bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands were silver, and the overlay of their capitals were silver, and all the pillars of the court had bands of silver. The screen for the gate of the court was woven of blue, purple, and scarlet, the red, and of fine woven linen. The length was 20 cubits, and the height along its width was 5 cubits, corresponding to the hangings of the court. And there were 4 pillars, with their 4 sockets of bronze. Their hooks were silver, and overlay of their capitals, and their bands was silver. And all the pegs of the tabernacle and the court all around were bronze. This is the inventory of the tabernacle of the testimony, which was counted according to the commandment of Moses for the service of the Levites, and by the hand of the Abiathar, son of Aaron the priest. Bezalel and the son of Uri, the son of Ur, and the tribe of Judah, made all the Lord had commanded Moses. And with him was Abiholahad, and the son of Azimach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and designer of a weaver, purple, blue, and scarlet thread, and a fine linen. All of the gold that was used in all of the work of the holy place, that is the gold of the offering, was 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver from those who were numbered of the congregation was 100 talents and of 1,775 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, a bakah for each man. That is half of a shekel, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, for everyone included in the numbering from 20 years old and above, were 603,550 men. And from the 100 talents of silver was cast sockets of the sanctuary and the bases of the veil. 100 sockets from the 100 talents, 1 talent for each socket. And then from the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the pillars, overlaid their capitals, and made bands for them. And the offering of bronze was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. And with it he made the sockets for the door of the tabernacle of meeting, the bronze and the altar, and the bronze grating for it, and all the utensils for the altar, sockets for the court all around, the bases for the court gate, all the pegs for the tabernacle, and the pegs for the court all around. I have read for you from the second book of Moses, Exodus chapters 36 through 38.